Hey, Boobalas, how y'all doing? I'm gonna turn up the volume a little bit. All right. First of all, I want to thank you guys, those of you who has been praying for me and my family during this time. It is appreciated. We do feel it. Okay, so I just want to get that out of the way. Now, for the subject at hand, today, the Supreme Court has made a decision regarding affirmative action, and that is to get rid of it. So, as you see in the title, what I want to read to you is what Michelle Obama had to say about this situation, right? In my own mind, I have my own thoughts about this. But let's see what our former and only Black First Lady had to say about this situation. Okay. Okay. So Michelle Obama writes, back in college, I was one of the few Black students on my campus, and I was proud of getting into such a respected school. As you recall, she went to, I think it was Princeton, right? I knew I'd work hard. I worked hard for it. But still, I sometimes wondered if people thought I got there because of affirmative action. Again, perception and what's in other people's minds, right? I need to get more coffee. Anyway, so she says, but the fact, she says, it was a shadow that students like me couldn't shake. Um, Whether those doubts came from the outside or inside our own minds. But the fact is this: I belonged. I belong. That's that word, baby. Where do you belong? Okay. Where are you wanted, valued, and appreciated at? Okay. Um, but the fact is this: I belonged. And semester after semester, decade after decade, for more than half a century, countless students like me showed they belonged too. It wasn't just the kids of color who benefited either. Every student who heard a perspective they may not have encountered, who had an assumption challenged, who had their minds and their hearts opened, gained a lot as well. It wasn't perfect, but there's no doubt that it helped offer new ladders of opportunity for those who, throughout our history, have too often been denied a chance to show how fast they can climb. Of course, students on my campus and countless others across the country were and continue to be granted special consideration for admissions. Hmm. Some have parents who graduated from the same school, they're alumni, okay? Others have families who can afford coaches to help them run faster or hit a ball harder. Others go to high schools with lavish resources for tutors and extensive standardized test prep that help them score higher on college entrance exams. We don't usually question if those students belong. So often, we just accept that money, power, and privilege, come on, power and privilege are perfectly suitable forms of affirmative action, while children growing up like I did are expected to compete when the ground is anything but level. So today, my heart breaks for any young person out there who's wondering what their future holds and what kinds of chances will be open to them. And while I know the strength and grit that lies inside children who have always had to sweat a little more to climb that same ladder, I hope and I pray that the rest of us are willing to sweat a little too. Today is a reminder that we've got to do the work and not just to enact policies that reflect our values of equity and fairness, but to truly make those values real in all of our schools and workplaces and neighborhoods. If you are interested in supporting organizations who have long been advocating for this cause, check out, and then she lists these places. First is UNCF, not the NAACP. The next one is the Hispanic Scholarship Fund, not the what's the name? Not the Rainbow Coalition headed by Jesse Jackson. Okay, I want you to understand this. You understand me? This is another one. I want to get the name right. Okay, it's called the Job Training Partnership Act, or JTPA. That's not on the list. Let's keep going. APIA scholars. Are you seeing what I'm saying? What is the APIA scholars? Let's look up. APIA scholars. And this is who the first Black First Lady is suggesting. Asian Pacific Islander American scholars. Okay, let's see who else. The American Indian College Fund. Let's see, UNCF is the United Negro College Fund, right? So she put them as number one, right? Let's see who these guys are. They are the ones who used to run the ad, a brain is a terrible thing to waste, uncf.org. Okay. This is the United Negro College Fund. They never even changed their name, y'all. Whose slogan is, "A mind is a terrible thing to waste." They have a new page that's up, and it says, "We can't simply believe in equality in education. We have to create it. Now more than ever, UNCF needs your voice. Join us to provide all students with a chance to succeed." Right? So they have where you can sign up. So I will do that. And put my zip code in. And hit the button that says I'm ready. Waiting. Let's see what it says. So while it's doing that, let's go back here. And I can close out APIA. Okay. So she did put the UNCF as number one, but she did not put NAACP. She did not put JTPA. She did not mention the Urban League. Okay. The next one that she has is the Dream US. So let's see what that is. The Dream US. And I don't know what's going on with UNCF, but yeah, it still hasn't processed this. Let me X out of that screen. It says on the UNCF, the nation's largest and most effective minority education organization, how we get results. You can apply for scholarships. All you need to know about the scholarship, internship, and fellowship programs offered by UNCF and how to apply. And then on the other side is ways to donate. Talented and deserving young people need your support today. Your donation helps educate over 60,000 students at more than 1,100 schools. Those numbers seem low to me when there is billions of us, right? That's not even all Black students. 60,000, that's nothing. Making a difference, 25 million. That's pennies, y'all. 8,000 students graduate annually. But this is the number one organization that former First Lady Michelle Obama put in her statement. Let's go on. The Dream US, what is that? The Dream US, their last press release was in 2017. That's sad. Okay, so let's see. The Dream US offers two scholarships. The National Scholarship is for current high school seniors, high school graduates, or current or previously enrolled college university students. Two scholarships. And this is what the former First Lady of the United States, first Black First Lady of the United States, is suggesting in her response to the Supreme Court's decision to nix affirmative action. Okay, so let's go to the last organization that she is recommending. Thurgood Marshall College Fund. Never heard of it, have you? Let's see what it's about. Thurgood Marshall College Fund. Do you remember who Thurgood Marshall was? Who was he? If you know who he was, put it down in the comments for me, my darling. All right, so let's see. Thurgood Marshall College Fund. Okay, it says, I'm going to go to the website, okay? Here we go. Oh, wow. You do know that the Obamas did not go to Black colleges. You understand what I'm saying? His Grace, Barack Obama, went to Harvard. And Her Grace, Michelle Obama, went to Princeton. The firstborn, Malia, went to Harvard. And the youngest, Obama, went to university in California. They did not go to historically Black universities. However, this is on her list. And let's go to Thurgood Marshall College Fund, About Us. Come on. Let's see. Let's go. Where education pays off. We're dedicated to transforming the lives of students at historically Black colleges and universities and predominantly Black institutions. Talented students from diverse backgrounds gain access to lifelong rewards. Now, she put them down as the last link on her statement about this decision. But she herself did not go to an historically Black college, and neither did her children. And I'm just saying, this is just a fact, okay? I don't have anything to say about this, but I did ask my AI, who benefits the most from affirmative action? Who benefits the most? Who are the recipients? Or let's ask it this way: what race and sex benefits most from affirmative action? Question mark. Let's see what it says. Okay. What is this? Okay, let's go here. All right. Let's open up a new one. I went to Michelle Obama's, trying to find her website, and I don't think she has one. This is just Yahoo News. It's all old information. Okay. So let's go here. I don't think Michelle Obama has a website, because I would love to see a press release. And let's add. So this is an article, and it's several. Okay, so let's go to this first one. It says, affirmative action benefits white women most. This op-ed discusses the misconceptions about affirmative action policies, written by Wendy Leo Moore. What do you think when you hear the term affirmative action? When I ask students this question, the replies I get most often include racial equity, racial justice, racial discrimination. Okay. I'm going to put the link to this article in the chat box. Okay. So you can go to it there. Control V. Oh, it didn't even let me do it right. Oh, that's because I'm on a different one. Never mind, y'all. Here, I'm gonna type it in. I think I was on my dual monitors and I'm not. Okay. This is I want you to see, not by Michelle Obama's information, but just how she kind of piggybacks on the perception of who's receiving affirmative action versus what the real information is, which is a little bit disappointing to me. But I'm sure she knew that this was coming out. And so this was the statement that she had prepared. And she wants to drive interest in these organizations that she's probably supporting herself. And these agencies are UNCF, Hispanic Scholarship Fund, APIA Scholars, which is for Asians, and the American Indian College Fund, the Dream US, which is only 2 scholarships that they offer, only 2. And the Thurgood Marshall College Fund, which is for historically Black universities, which does not touch her at all. But she probably does support them with donations and stuff, for her taxes and things like that. And she wants to drive support for the agencies that she supports, right? But this was report. So we see what Michelle Obama is trying to do politically around what the Supreme Court has ruled. Let's go into the real data about affirmative action and who actually receives this and what does that mean. Okay. So when I ask students this question, the replies I get most often include racial equity, racial justice, racial discrimination, racial preferences, or quotas. Rarely do people mention gender, so it comes as a surprise to many to discover that dun, 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 white women have benefited more from affirmative action programs and policies than any other demographic. It's not an accident that conversations about affirmative action tend to center on race as opposed to gender. Instead, it's a predictable outcome of a campaign by well-funded and organized opponents of race-based civil rights programs in response to legal changes that resulted from the 1960s civil rights movement. Okay, so think about that. In the civil rights movement, it was Black children, Black women, Black men, and it was the blue collar people, housekeeping, um, garbage men. These are the people who were beaten, jailed, all of that. Not doctors and lawyers. You understand me? And not very many white people, Jewish people, anybody like that, but who has benefited from those blue collar and service industry Black folks who were terrorized and tormented and tortured and murdered, including 4 little Black girls in the church. Who has benefited? Not those people, not Black people in the service industries, and not the blue collar Black workers. Okay? So it says, instead, it's a predictable outcome of a campaign by well-funded and organized opponents of race-based civil rights programs in response to legal changes that resulted from the 1960s civil rights movement. As it became clear that these legal changes were imminent, wealthy, white, conservatives with famous family names like Coors, DeVos, Scaife, I don't know who that is, SCAIFE, and Hunt mobilized massive resources to reverse the gains of civil rights initiatives in general and affirmative action specifically. Part of their strategy included a national public media campaign designed to create white opposition to affirmative action policies by associating the term affirmative action with quotas or racial preferences that they said favored people of color and discriminated against white people. But, in fact, few realize that the term affirmative action originated as a benign phrase used by Presidents JFK and Lyndon B. Johnson, or LBJ. Hey, you hear that dog barking? What he's saying? What? Kitten is up, y'all. You want to say hello? There go kitten. He's waking up, moo. Say, hey, people. Hey, people. All right. So, let's see. Okay, so few realize that the term affirmative action originated as a benign phrase and used by Presidents JFK and LBJ to indicate that the government needed to take purposeful action or act affirmatively. Kitten, kitten, where's she at? I don't trust her. Hold on, y'all. You know I don't trust you. What you was doing? Huh? I do not trust her, not at all. Hold on 1 second, y'all. I'm gonna close these doors so she can't be getting out of here. How I'm looking, y'all. Right? Not bad. Right? Not bad for an old lady. Okay, so anyway. Okay. So anyway. So JFK and LBJ wanted to act affirmatively to end discrimination on the basis of race and gender, right? Oh man. Oh, oh, oh. I never can do this, y'all. Hold on. Okay, so it says eventually a multitude of policies and practices designed to remedy systemic racist and sexist discrimination came to be referred to under the umbrella term affirmative action. So that's how that came to be. Okay. So that's how that came to be. Now, it says affirmative action came to signify policies as diverse as plans to recruit or advertise jobs in communities of color and programs designed for employers to identify and correct the underrepresentation of women in particular jobs. But right-wing opponents of affirmative action focus national attention on race-based rather than gender-based affirmative action, and they successfully cultivated widespread white opposition to the core ideas of affirmative action. So we shouldn't be surprised that white women who may not even realize how they have benefited from affirmative action policies are also some of the fiercest opponents of affirmative action. It can be difficult to measure the extent to which Different groups have benefited from affirmative action precisely because it's an umbrella term that covers a wide range of policies and programs. But there are clear structural indicators that reveal that white women have benefited from these policies more than any other group. For example, when we look at the progress made in higher education to create more racially inclusive and representative campuses, we see that progress has been quite slow. Statistics reveal that Latinos and African Americans are still underrepresented today in university admissions and graduation rates, especially in four-year colleges. However, the progress made in achieving greater gender equality in colleges and universities is starkly different. Although women made up only 35% of those receiving Bachelor of Arts degrees in 1960, before affirmative action policies were established. By 1982, women were no longer underrepresented among degree recipients. Today, women have surpassed men in college admissions and graduation rates. In particular, if we look at white women, we find that by the year 2012, the group's enrollment in colleges and universities outpaced that of white men, with 72% of white women enrolled with 62% of white men. Employment patterns reveal the same trends. Since the 1970s, African American unemployment rates have consistently remained about double those of whites, with even greater disparity for African American teens. But if we look at unemployment rates by gender, we see that in 2019, unemployment rates for men, 3.6%, were nearly the same as for women, 3.5%. Maybe even more revealing is the fact that in 2019, white women's weekly earnings, $840, were higher than black women's at $704 and black men at $769. Do you understand? Black men statistically earn less than white women. And black women, even though they are the most educated, make less than everybody. But affirmative action has been struck down. So who is it going to hurt? It's going to hurt the group that's benefited the most from it. And that's not black people. That's not black Americans. Okay? And because of perceptions like what are perspectives like what Michelle Obama is talking about, because that is a widespread perception that black people are the ones who are being helped by affirmative action. The very group that's being helped the most by it is the same group that is opposed to it. The truth is stranger than fiction, honey. The truth is stranger than fiction. So I feel like this is like the same way with the abortion ban. Who is it affecting? White women, white young women, right? And who is it going to affect even down the line when it comes to fertility and all of this? Who are the women that are going for all of these fertility treatments and blah, 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 blah? It's white women. It's not. Anyway, the same way with affirmative action. So we are seeing a pattern here. Who is the group that they are targeting, that they are oppressing? And you can't say that this is the black people who are the architects of opposing white women, because Clarence Thomas is but one man, one black man. You got one black man, you got one Asian man. Let me go here. Who are the people on SCOTUS? Okay. Justice, Associate Justice Sonia Sotomayor. So she's Hispanic, yeah. Associate Justice Clarence Thomas, he's black. Chief Justice John G. Roberts Jr., Chief Justice John G. Roberts Jr. Is that African American? I don't think so. I'm just gonna pull it out. I don't mean to laugh, y'all, but I'm just saying. Chief, listen. Chief Justice John Roberts. Let's see. And the Supreme Court also said the Navajo Nation don't get no water. I don't mean to laugh. Lord have mercy. Just what does it all mean, y'all? Okay. Let's see. This is Supreme Court of the United States.gov, and this is the current members. So, Chief Justice John G. Roberts Jr., he is born in Buffalo, New York, January 27, 1955. He married Jane Marie Sullivan in 1996, and they have two children, Josephine and Jack. He received an AB from Harvard College in 1976 and a JD from Harvard Law School in 1979. Okay. Next is Clarence Thomas, Associate Justice, was born in Penn Point Community near Savannah, Georgia, on June 23rd, 1948. So that means he just had a birthday. He attended Concepcion Seminary from 1967 to 1968 and received an AB cum laude from College of the Holy Cross in 1971 and a JD from Yale Law in 1974. He was admitted to law practice in Missouri in 1974 and served as an assistant attorney general in Missouri for 3 years in the 70s, an attorney with Monsanto Company, 1977 through 1979, and legislative assistant to Senator John Danforth, 1979 to 1981. Samuel A. Alito. Now, this man looks Caucasian, right? Born in Trenton, New Jersey, April 1st, 1950. He married Martha Ann Baumgartner in 1985 and has two children, Philip and Laura. Do you notice the difference between the bios? They put all of Clarence Thomas's stuff. Where do they mention that he has a wife and children? They don't even mention that at all. Last line. He married Virginia Lamp on May 30th, 1987, and has one child, Jamal Adine, by a previous marriage. That's it. Whereas with the Chief Justice and then this Justice, Alito, when they were born, and then boom, who they married and their children and the names of those children. Then it says, with Alito, he served as a law clerk for Leonard I. Garth of the United States Court of Appeals for the Third Circuit from 1976 to 1977. He was Assistant U.S. Attorney, District of New Jersey. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Let's keep going. Sonia Sotomayor, Associate Justice, was born in Bronx, New York on June the 25th. That means she just had a birthday 4 days ago. She earned a BA in 1976 from Princeton University, graduating summa cum laude and a member of Phi Beta Kappa and receiving the PYNE Prize, the highest academic honor Princeton awards to an undergraduate. In 1979, she earned a JD from Yale Law School, where she served as the editor of Yale Law Journal. Again, they're not mentioning her husband and children, right? So let's keep going. They don't mention anything about they don't mention anything about her husband and children. Next, Elena Kagan, Associate Justice. I didn't even know that she was on there. I've never heard of her name. Have you? So Elena was born in New York on April 28, 1960. She received an AB from Princeton in 1981 and so this is a Master's of Philosophy, M.Phil, from Oxford in 1983 and a JD from Harvard Law School in 1986. She clerked for Judge Abner Mikva of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit from 1986-87 and for Justice Thurgood Marshall of the U.S. Supreme Court during the 1987 term. Again, Michelle Obama has the Thurgood Marshall College Fund as the last organization. When I go here for Thurgood Marshall, let's see, where education pays off. We're dedicated to transforming the lives of students at historically Black colleges and universities and predominantly Black institutions. Talented students from diverse backgrounds gain access to lifelong rewards. Okay. Thousands of students succeed in college with assistance from Thurgood Marshall College Fund and the many opportunities we provide. Okay. Ooh, you should see these people, y'all. They all look very unfortunate. I'm sorry. Oh my God. I think that's a prerequisite for being successful as a Black American. You have to look unfortunate. You cannot look that's what my experience was growing up in high school. The leaders that were selected all looked very unfortunate. Okay. This says subscribe to our newsletter to learn about scholarships, internships, jobs, and great news about our impact within the HBCU community. Now, capacity building, partners and donors. Okay, I haven't seen anything regarding the numbers, like how many people do they actually help, right? But let's just do this. I'm going to subscribe just for the heck of it. I just want to see. I try to stay away from it, y'all, honestly. I try to stick to the rivers and the lakes that I'm used to, honey. And even them, I don't get in them. I don't get in them. All right. So I'm clicking on contact us because I want to see what this is. Okay. So they've got Center for Advancing Opportunity, Corporate and Government Partnerships, Executive Office, Finance, Government Relations, Human Resources, Individual Donors, Innovation and Entrepreneurship, Leadership Institute, Legal, Marketing and Advertising, Media Inquiries, National Ambassador, Operations, Programs. They got a lot of departments, y'all. Scholarships. So if you're interested in getting a scholarship through the Thurgood Marshall College Fund, you're going to email scholarships@tmcf.org. Okay, that's where you want to go. If you want to set it up where you give donations to them out of every paycheck, kind of like how the United Way does, you want to email workplace giving at invest@tmcf.org. Okay. So let's go back here. Who are the justices? Okay. So we're almost done. Elena Kagan. Again, who she's married to, blah, blah, blah. How many, her kids' names, not there. But she also served as the dean of Harvard Law School. In 2009, President Obama nominated her as the Solicitor General of the United States. A year later, the president nominated her as an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court on May 10, 2010. She took her seat on August 7, 2010. And this is really interesting because, like I said, I don't recall hearing her name at all. But trust me, a lot was going on in my life in 2010. Okay, let's be real. Okay, so again, she clerked for Judge Abner Mikva of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit from 1986 and 87, and for Justice Thurgood Marshall of the, what kitten? Come here. Come here. Kitty wants to get up here. Let's see. It's a cat, Mo. Hey, Mo, what's the matter? And then Neil M. Gorsuch. This is crazy. I think he's the same Gorsuch that ran for president, right? He was born in Denver, Colorado, August 29, 1967. So he's in his 50s, right? This lady, April 28, 1960, she's young. 2, Kata. What you want? What you want? Huh? What you want, Mo? What you want? What's the matter with it? Okay, so I'm gonna put her down, okay? Because I don't know what she's trying to say. All right. I don't know what you're talking about. What you want? Yeah, go lay down. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Who's your goody goody? Yeah. Okay. So Gorsuch was born in Denver, Colorado. This is interesting. Let me just look. I think he's the only one born in Colorado. Buffalo, New York, Savannah, Georgia, Trenton, New Jersey, Bronx, New York, New York, New York, Denver, Colorado. And here we go. He and his wife, Louise, have 2 daughters. So make of that what you will. Brett Kavanaugh, born in Washington, D.C. on February the 12th, 1965. I think we know what his problem is. He's an Aquarius. Lord have mercy. They got an Aquarius in SCOTUS. So he married Ashley Estes in 2004, and they have 2 daughters, Margaret and Liza. He received a BA from Yale and a JD from Yale Law School in 1990. Y'all, Amy Coney Barrett. I've heard her name. This is the first time seeing her. She was born in Nowlands. She was born in Nowlands, Louisiana on January 28th, 1972. She married Jesse M. Barrett in 1999, and they have 7. they, they have 7 children. Lord have mercy. Emma, Vivian, Tess, John Peter, Liam, Juliet, and Benjamin. She received a BA from Rhodes College in 1994 and a JD from Notre Dame Law School in 1997. Yup. How you like that? 7 children. Ketanji Brown Jackson, Associate Justice. Now, I remember her because I watched all of the news and everything around this one. She was born in Washington, D.C. On September 14, 1970, she married Patrick Jackson in 1996, and they have 2 daughters. Okay, which we know. We saw them on camera, and her husband was very sweet with her, which I'm happy for her. All right. Her anniversary is coming up, June the 30th, 2022. So it will be a year for her tomorrow. Okay. Sandra Day O'Connor, retired. She was born in El Paso, Texas, March 26, 1930. She married John J. O'Connor III in 1952 and has 3 sons, Scott, Brian, and Jay. She received her BA and LLB from Stanford University. She served as Deputy County Attorney of San Mateo County. What do you want? What is it? She has never did this before. What do you want? Go over there until I finish doing what I'm doing. Merci. C'est the thème. Okay, so, and then we have Anthony M. Kennedy, retired. Associate Justice, was born in Sacramento, California. That's a first. July 23rd, 1936, he married Mary Davis and has 3 children. He received his BA from Stanford University and the London School of Economics, and his LLB from Harvard Law School. He was in private practice in San Francisco, California from 1961 to 1963, as well as in Sacramento from 63 to 75. Okay. Professor of Constitutional Law at the McGeorge School of Law, University of the Pacific. He has served in numerous positions during his career, including a member of the California Army National Guard. Impressive. David H. Suter, retired, was born in Melrose, Massachusetts. September 17, 1939, he graduated from Harvard College, from which he received his AB after 2 years as a Rhodes Scholar at Magdalen College, Oxford. He received an AB in jurisprudence from Oxford University and an MA in 1963. Okay. He retired from the Supreme Court on June 29th. That's today's anniversary. Yeah, 2009. Let's see, when did Kennedy, he retired from the Supreme Court on July 31st, 2018. Sandra Day O'Connor retired from the Supreme Court on January 31st, 2006. Okay, Stephen G. Breyer retired from, he was born in San Francisco, California, August 15, 1938. He married Joanna Hare in 1967 and has 3 children, Chloe, Nell, and Michael. He's a Stanford graduate. He also got his LLB from Harvard Law School. Okay, so he retired from the Supreme Court, June 30th, tomorrow's the anniversary, 2022. And he's one of the ones that I never heard of before. Now, as far as the ones who died on the Supreme Court, let's see. These are current members, circuit assignments, justices from 1789 to present. So did you know that the Supreme Court has had members and has existed since 1789, which is interesting because according to the records, we received independence of the United States was emancipated from British rule in 1776, but it took until 1789 for the Supreme Court to start. Yeah. You said the thing. Good girl. You know that psycho is always barking over there. Forget about him. So Chief Justices 1789 to present. And this is probably where they have even the justices who have passed on, probably listed among these ones. Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. So here's where I see the difference. For the ones who have passed away, like you can't click on them to get information. They no longer have information on them on the website. Okay, so like for Antonin Scalia, from Virginia, appointed by Reagan, September 26, 1986, and then they have February 13, 2016, and that is the date, let me see, service terminated. God, that sounds so brutal, doesn't it? Oh, these people are just heartless. So, Chief Justices. I wish I could sort this. Anyway, Chief Justices, J. John from New York. Okay, so this is the first Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, John Jay. Of New York, appointed by President Washington. Okay. John Rutledge, South Carolina, appointed by Washington. Oliver Ellsworth from Connecticut, appointed by Washington. Okay. John Marshall from Virginia, appointed by John Adams. Roger Brooke Taney from Maryland, appointed by President Jackson. Salmon Portland Chase, what a name, of Ohio, appointed by President Lincoln. Morrison Remick Waite from Ohio, appointed by President Grant. Melville Weston Fuller from Illinois, appointed by President Cleveland. Edward Douglas White from Louisiana, appointed by Taft. William Howard Taft of Connecticut, appointed by Harding. Charles Evans Hughes of New York, appointed by Hoover. Harlan Fistone, ooh, what a name, from New York, appointed by Roosevelt. Fred Moore Vinson of Kentucky, appointed by Truman. Earl Warren of California, appointed by Eisenhower. Warren Earl Berger of Virginia, appointed by Nixon. William H. Rehnquist of Virginia, appointed by Reagan. And John G. Roberts Jr. of Maryland, appointed by George W. Bush. And he is the current Chief Justice. Okay. Ooh, Lord have mercy. Look at all these. So this is associate justices. And these ones were appointed by Washington. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 associate justices appointed by George Washington. John Rutledge of South Carolina, William Cushing of Massachusetts, James Wilson of Pennsylvania, John Blair of Virginia, James Iredell of North Carolina, Thomas Johnson of Maryland, William Patterson with 1 T of New Jersey, and Samuel Chase of Maryland. Okay. Then we've got 2 appointed by President John Adams. We've got Bushrod Washington. Bushrod Washington, child, of Virginia. And then Alfred Moore he's from South Carolina. Okay. Then we've got 3 appointed by Jefferson. So we've got William Johnson of South Carolina, Brooke Holst Livingston of New York. I'm just saying, because I think I have a funny name, but Jesus Christ. Brooke Holst here. Brooke Holst Livingston. Oh my God. He's from New York. Thomas Todd, double T's, Kentucky. And then I also tell you about William Johnson of South Carolina. So we've got 2 appointed by President Madison, Gabriel Duval, Maryland, Joseph Story of Massachusetts. Then President Monroe appointed 1 associate justice, and that is Smith Thompson. He's got double last names, Smith Thompson, and he's from New York. All right, and then John Quincy Adams appointed 1 associate justice, and that's Robert Trimble of Kentucky. Then with Jackson, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 associate justices that he appointed, and he did John McLean from Ohio, Henry Baldwin from Pennsylvania, James Moore Wayne from Georgia, Philip Pendleton Barber of Virginia, John Catron, or Catron, Catron, from Tennessee. Okay. I think that's the first one from Tennessee, yeah. Look like we got more from Virginia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Ohio, a lot from Ohio, New York. Definitely. This is why I wanted a list that I can be able to sort to kind of see. It's just interesting to me. Make a nice graph showing where all the justices came from, what part of the United States, and what part of the United States never had a Supreme Court justice. Okay. It's looking pretty apparent to me, honey. I ain't seen not one from Texas, but I know Sandra Day O'Connor, she was from El Paso, but you don't see not one from Alabama. You heard me? Okay, let's see. Jackson. So we're down to President Van Buren. He has 2. There we go, Alabama. Van Buren appointed John McKinley, and he is from Alabama. Then Peter Vivian Daniel from Virginia, and President Tyler appointed 1, Samuel Nelson of New York. President Polk appointed 2 associate justices, Levi Woodbury from New Hampshire and Robert Cooper Greer from Pennsylvania. Fillmore did one. Benjamin Robbins Curtis from Massachusetts. President Pierce did one. John Archibald Campbell from Alabama. President Buchanan did one. Nathan Clifford of Maine. And then Lincoln did 4 associate justices from 4 different states. So we have Noah Haynes Swain from Ohio, Samuel Freeman Miller from Iowa, David Davis from Illinois, and Stephen Johnson Field from California. So President Grant did 1, 2, 3, and all from the East Coast. William Strong, Pennsylvania, Joseph P. Bradley from New Jersey, and Ward Hunt of New York. President Hayes did 2 from 2 different states. He did John Marshall Harlan from Kentucky and William Burnham Woods of Georgia. Then we've got President Garfield. He appointed 1 Stanley Matthews of Ohio. President Arthur did 2, Horace Gray of Massachusetts and Samuel Blatchford of New York. Then we have President Cleveland appointed 1 associate justice from Mississippi. I think this is the first one that I've read that's Mississippi. I forgot. I forget all about Mississippi, honestly. Lucius. Oh my God, Lucius. Lucius Quintus C. Lamar of Mississippi, appointed by President Cleveland. Okay. So we've got for President Harrison, he did 4 associate justices of the Supreme Court from 4 different states. So we've got David Josiah Brewer from Kansas, Henry Billings Brown of Michigan, George Shiras, Shiras, Jr. of Pennsylvania, Howell Edmonds Jackson of Tennessee. Okay. Oh, then we got some more from Cleveland. Okay, so this is by the dates. Okay, so we got 2 from Cleveland, Edward Douglas White of Louisiana, and Rufus Wheeler Peckham of New York. McKinley appointed Joseph McKenna of California, and we got 3 by Roosevelt T. Oliver Wendell Holmes of Massachusetts, I've heard of him before, and William Rufus Day from Ohio, and William Henry Moody of Massachusetts. I'd never heard of him. Okay, so by Taft, he did 5 associate justices, 5 different states. Horace Harmon Lurton, Tennessee. Charles Evans Hughes, New York. Willis Van Devantor, Wyoming. So it sounds like he's a Dutch immigrant, probably from Denmark. And we've got, these are all by Taft. The one from Wyoming, that's just a weird Willis Van Devantor. That's crazy. Okay, so he was the justice appointed by President Taft out of Wyoming. Then we've got Joseph Rucker Lamar of Georgia, and Malin Pitney. Boy, these American names just be tripping me out. Malin, Mahlon, Pitney. And he's from New Jersey. He's not from the South with a name like Pitney. That's crazy. Okay, I'm thinking Pitney Bowes. Let's not go there. I'll be wondering. Okay, so let's go with 1, 2, 3 Wilson appointees. He appointed James Clark McReynolds of Tennessee, Louis Dembitz Brandeis of Massachusetts, and John Hisson Clark of Ohio. Then we've got 1, 2, 3 from Harding, George Sutherland of Utah, Pierce Butler of Minnesota, and Edward Terry Sanford of Tennessee. Coolidge appointed Harlan Fiske Stone of New York. Hoover has 2, Owen Josephus Roberts of Pennsylvania, and Benjamin Nathan Cardozo of New York. Then we got Roosevelt, honey. He appointed a whole lot. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So hold on. Let's go through them. We've got Hugo Lafayette Black of Alabama, Stanley Foreman Reed of Kentucky, Felix Frankfurter of Massachusetts, William Orville Douglas of Connecticut, Frank Murphy of Michigan. And this is funny, right? F is for family, Frank Murphy. Shout out to Bill Burr. Frank Murphy, honey. I wonder if Bill Burr knows this. Okay, so James Francis Burns of South Carolina, Robert Hogwood, Houghwot Jackson of New York, Wiley Blount Rutledge of Iowa. Okay, so those are the 8. Okay, these are in chronological order too. I think you should know. Yeah, coming down to the present day. So we got 3 by Truman, Harold Hitz Burton, of Ohio, Tom Campbell Clark of Texas, Sherman Minton of Indiana. Eisenhower did 4, John Marshall Harlan of New York, William J. Jr. Brennan of New Jersey, Chris Evans Whitaker of Missouri, Potter Stewart of Ohio. Okay, then we've got 2 by Kennedy, Byron Raymond White of Colorado, Arthur Joseph Goldberg of Illinois. Then we got 2 by Lyndon Johnson. So we got Abe Fortas of Tennessee and Thurgood Marshall of New York. So Thurgood Marshall was the Associate Justice that was chosen by Lyndon Baines Johnson of Texas, who took office after Kennedy was assassinated in Dallas, Texas, November the 11th. Okay, so let's go. So Thurgood Marshall, he's from New York, not from the South. He is from New York. And he was appointed October the 2nd, 1967, and his term ended October the 1st, 1991. The same year I gave birth to Joseph. 1991, honey. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3 appointed by Nixon from 3 different states. What I find interesting about Lyndon Baines Johnson is that he didn't appoint anybody from the state of Texas. I find that interesting, don't y'all? Anyway, like I said, I may try to figure out a way to chart this data, because I really want to see how all of these things are connected, grouping similar information, similar data together. That's what I really want to do. Okay, so anyway, under Nixon, we got 3 in 3 different states. Harry A. Blackman, and that's not B. Like there was a teacher at my school named Miss Blackman, right? But her name was spelled Blackmon, and this one is MUN, right? Harry A. Blackman of Minnesota, appointed by Nixon. Lewis F. Powell Jr. of Virginia, and William H. Rehnquist of Arizona. It seemed like I've heard that name before, Rehnquist. Okay, so let's keep going. President Ford, he only appointed one associate justice out of Illinois, John Paul Stevens. So now we are up to Reagan, which, I think Reagan, he pardoned somebody, or Ford pardoned somebody. I think Ford pardoned Nixon. Yeah. So let's keep going. This is crazy. So we've got two different information. On one of the pages of the Supreme Court, it says that Sandra Day O'Connor was from El Paso, Texas. But on here it says Arizona, appointed by Reagan. Sandra Day O'Connor, Arizona. So that means somebody needs to audit this information because they've got two different things. Okay, let's keep going. Reagan also appointed Antonin Scalia of Virginia. Reagan appointed Anthony M. Kennedy, who is still sitting, and still alive, I should say, California. George H.W. Bush appointed two, David H. Souter of New Hampshire and Clarence Thomas of Georgia. Okay, Clinton appointed Ruth Bader Ginsburg from New York. He also appointed Stephen G. Breyer from Massachusetts. And then Bush, George W., he appointed Alito of New Jersey, just the one. Obama appointed two, Sonia Sotomayor of New York and Elena Kagan of Massachusetts. Trump appointed three, Neil Gorsuch of Colorado, Brett Kavanaugh of Maryland. They say Maryland. And I thought on the other one it said he was from Washington, D.C. See that, this information is just, I don't know. I don't know who proofreads this stuff, but anyway, let's go. This says Brett Kavanaugh is from Maryland, appointed by Trump, and the other page said Washington, D.C. But anyway, let's keep going. The other one is from Indiana, and that's Amy Coney Barrett, and she's always in the news behind something. And then Biden has did one, and that is Ketanji Brown Jackson of Washington, D.C. Okay. And I'm looking for other things that I'd have to double check it, but the information is not correct. I don't know where they're pulling the information from, but I don't know, it's weird. So if you want to visit the Supreme Court, let's look at that, because I would love to. Wouldn't you? Visiting the court. The court will hear all scheduled oral arguments, blah, blah, blah. On days when the court is not in session, the building will be open to the public from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., excluding weekends and federal holidays. Courtroom lectures are offered on a first-come, first-served basis. Please refer to the 30-day rolling calendar of available lectures. Visitors may view ground floor exhibits and portions of the first floor on a self-guided basis. The cafeteria and gift shop are open to the public. Ain't that nice? Meet me for lunch at the Supreme Courthouse cafeteria. Ain't that interesting? All right, so there you have it. Let's go over some Notes. This has had 8.8 million views from Michelle Obama's Twitter. If you want to see that, it is on at Michelle Obama. And it has had, like I said, 8.8 million views. It has been retweeted 17,000 times and quoted 2,000 times. It's been bookmarked 2,000 times, and it has 53.2K likes. So this guy at Bubble says, Michelle Obama is mad that SCOTUS just ruled affirmative action is unconstitutional. She's mad that people must be judged by the content of their character, not the color of their skin. The Obamas tried to divide this country. This SCOTUS ruling will help bring us together. And that has 5,000 likes, y'all. You need to know what we're dealing with, okay? You need to know. You need to know, okay? So this is End White Guilt. And this is replying to at Bubble Bath Girl and at Michelle Obama. As an African American, I oppose affirmative action because I want to know where I stand in the marketplace. When Jackie Robinson became the first black ball player, he didn't say, I need 4 strikes because of historical injustice. He got right there in the plate and started swinging. And that is hearted by 641. And I ain't saying nothing. I ain't saying nothing. Let these people go on how they going, honey. Okay, so this is at Hollywood something or another, replying to Michelle Obama. The sad days in this country keep amounting. With what an awful decision. We need you to run for POTUS. You're our last hope. That has 133 likes and 327 whatever. All right, comments. Okay, replying to Hollywood Pete 69 and Michelle Obama. And it says, why is equal protection under the law an awful decision? Institutional bigotry is wrong on all fronts. The United States is a nation of equal opportunity, not equal outcomes. Work hard and you can live the American dream. Based on the merit of your character and not the color of your skin, celebrate the end of racism. MLK is honored by this court ruling. Again, this is another gut punch to white women. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is from Malik replying to Michelle Obama. Don't scroll past this. The concern, fear now in Black and Hispanic communities is, can we trust admissions across the country to actually let Black and brown people into these collegiate institutions who meet the requirements, or will they prefer their own people instead? Oh Lord, he wrote a lot. Right. Trust is hard thing to have when less than 100 years ago, Black and brown students were not able to go to almost any institutions. They had to. Ooh. Okay. I'm not for affirmative action or against affirmative action. What I am for is the betterment of humanity and ensuring everyone has the proper resources to live the best life they can live, again, from a Black person. And he's not even saying, but Black people did not benefit from affirmative action. But Black people didn't, Michelle Obama didn't say, but Black people have never benefited from affirmative action. Okay, but affirmative action did not help Black people. But affirmative action did not help Black people. I have not heard anybody yet to say that. I hear a bunch of foo la la. Okay, this is from Will. I'd like to see policies created that have colleges remove personally identifiable information during their review for admission process. This will see that people are admitted based on their merit alone. And what about the ones who cheat? What about the ones who can hire tutors for their children to take the test prep exams until they get it perfect? What about the people who get into university because their parents went to the same university? I don't understand why some people just don't understand or don't get. I think it's because they've never gone to university. I think maybe that's what it is. They've never gone to university. They've never filled out an application to go to university. Um, so the people who are commenting just they're ignorant of this whole process. And the difference with trying to go to a state university versus a private university, um, like Harvard versus a parochial school like Xavier University, you will notice that none of these comments are coming from um, oh Lord, it's not Black people, it's white women. It's white women. Should I put that in the comment for this one, y'all? Should I? Affirmative action. Who benefits is all white women. I'm gonna just click on the article. Maybe he will read it, maybe he will not. Hashtag. Okay. This is a blow to a certain non-Black demographic. Actually, this has nothing to do with Black Americans, period. It's a gut punch, but not to us. And I'm gonna put ... Okay, and that's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna reply to Michelle. But I signed up to receive newsletters from UNCF and let me go back here. And the Lord have mercy. I can't even remember his name, y'all. Oh my God. I can't remember his name. And Thurgood Marshall. Shout. Marshall College Fund. Okay. Have a blessed day. The other one, see, the Dream US only has 2. That's it. So I will put this down here. Let's see. Visiting the court. This is against the white women. Poor things, honey. But they cause a lot of mess in this country, in all communities. They do. Marshall's aid, building support technician, senior information technology specialist. Okay. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but I will try it. Okay. They sending me a code. Boy.
If you know English.
Okay, is that it? Okay. Number lock. I don't know, y'all. Something weird is happening, y'all. I just want you to know. See, I don't know what it's doing. What is it doing? Okay. The Air Force. Mm-hmm. Okay. Thurgood Marshall. I'm gonna have to go in a minute. See, we have a fire happening. Gotta get face masks again. I don't even want to take Kitten outside because the air quality is so bad. Hmm. Hmm. It's okay. Let me go back to where the smoke is. Hmm. I really wish they would just leave Black communities alone. Just somebody on TikTok asked, what would Black people do without white people? And everybody was just laughing. It was this white guy that asked this. Because in his mind, without the white community, no Black community will be able to survive. I don't know, but I pray to God that we can find out just what the Black community can do without the white community. They really want to have it where they are to themselves and without us. And I really hope and pray that that can happen, that there's a demarcation between them and us, that we can see what that looks like. You know what I mean? What would it be like? What would happen? Somewhere in another dimension, the Moors stayed within their own community. The Moors did not go out and all this kind of stuff and trading with people and stuff like that. They stayed with their own, they kept with their own, and all the other ones did the same. Okay. I think they cut in the tree branch that was down. All right, so other than the Supreme Court thing, there is nothing happens. Oh, Supreme Court sets new limits. So it's not that it's completely destroyed, but new limits are set. Supreme Court sets new limits on affirmative action programs in landmark ruling. Supreme Court sets new limits on affirmative action programs in landmark ruling. Okay. Hold on, y'all. I gotta redo my nails. Hold on. I got my cotton balls and my. Okay. So let's see. Okay. The Supreme Court on Thursday set new limits on affirmative action programs in cases involving whether public and private colleges and universities can continue to use race as one factor among many in student admissions. It also affects people with disabilities, race, gender. What else? I can't remember what else affirmative action covers. Okay. The court held in an opinion of the conservative majority written by Chief Justice John Roberts that Harvard and UNC's admissions programs violate the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment. Okay. The vote was 6-3 in the UNC case and 6-2 in the Harvard case due to the recusal of Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. Jackson has served on the board of overseers at Harvard, where she earned her undergraduate and law degrees. Okay. So they recused her from this decision. Jackson, Justice Sonia Sotomayor, and Justice Elena Kagan dissented in the two cases. What the court said. Okay. The blockbuster cases put affirmative action, which has been used for decades by colleges and universities to address inequality and diversify their campuses, in the spotlight. The Supreme Court had repeatedly ruled since 1978 schools may consider the race of applicants in pursuing educational benefits from a diverse student body so long as it was one factor among many considered in the schools, and the schools did not use a quota system. Students for Fair Admissions, a conservative group, sued Harvard University and the University of North Carolina over their race-conscious admission program, alleging intentional discrimination toward Asian American applicants. The Supreme Court ruled in favor of the group in a decision that will have major ramifications for the college. I know TikTok is going crazy. Over this subject. Hey. They were already discussing this, okay? So the Supreme Court ruled in favor of the group in a decision that will have major ramifications for college admissions process in the U.S. Not really. For white women. Which they voted for the president who appointed most of these justices who, it is what it is. I ain't got nothing to say myself. It's like, how do you feel upset about them voting down a law that was supposed to help us, but never did? What do you say? Oh, well, let's be real. Let's be honest, right? Let's be real. Let's be honest. It never helped us. So what it means, the court's decision undercuts more than 40 years of legal precedent and is a blow to schools that say race-conscious admissions programs are vital. They don't do that, though. They do by gender, females. And this has been happening. I think it's what they're saying publicly versus what the truth is, And for some reason, they just believe that you have to make the public just keep them all tied up with lies to keep them busy. They don't want the majority of people to be free. I don't know why. Because people self-destruct when they know the truth. They commit suicide and have heart attacks and kill their whole family. You know what I'm saying? Is that what happens when people know the truth? It's crazy. It is crazy. I don't know. Anyway, that's been my time. I put in there the article about who really benefits from affirmative action. But if you just Google it, you'll see just pages and pages of it. So people who are ignorant of who affirmative action really helps, and I'm so sorry. The people who are ignorant of who affirmative action really helps and who believed a lie, they are willfully ignorant. There is a war here, but it's not us. The war that SCOTUS is fighting against is not us. It's y'all. It is what it is. I don't know why, and it's none of my business. But I just wanted to read to you what Michelle Obama had put out, and that's it. I encourage you to do like I did, sign up for the newsletters for the Thurgood Marshall College Fund and for the United Negro College Fund. And that's that on that. Okay. Meanwhile, Colorado is now on fire. Canada is on fire. Colorado is on fire. Let's see. Let's see if I can pull up the map. Wildfires in North America. The map. Okay. And latest Canadian wildfire smoke maps show where air quality is unhealthy now and forecast for the near future. Okay. Let's see if I can get the map up. Okay. That just shows North America. It does not show where the fires are. Okay. Let's go here. Control. And I can get out of that because it didn't work anyway. Control. Oh, I think I got an alert from FEMA, but I'm not sure. So this is from FWAC. No, thank you. They begging. We got fires everywhere. We got fires everywhere. This is a Fire Weather and Avalanche Center. They have a map. So we've got, even in Seattle, in Washington State, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, including in Olympia. Let me try to tell y'all something. We are at war with another humongous and sturdy group of humanoids. I'm just going to say humanoids. And they are trying to burn them out, but I don't think they're going to be successful, honey. I don't think they're going to be successful. We got fires going on in Wyoming. We've got fires happening in Salt Lake City, north and south. Utah, Nevada, California is burning. The Mojave Desert, there's fires in LA, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Phoenix, Arizona, it's got fires burning. None in Texas. We've got them in Louisiana, Mississippi. Not in the Ozark Plateau. We've got them in the San Juan Mountains, Colorado Plateau. Arizona, New Mexico is burning. Okay. Cumberland Plateau, Charleston, West Virginia, Philadelphia, New Jersey, Appalachian Mountains are burning, Mississippi, um, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, nothing in Alabama, so they're going to get the smoke, and nothing in Florida, okay? Nothing in Texas. That's crazy, right? I think that what they're trying to do is they're trying to burn these humanoids to drive them to certain places. And it looks like they want to drive them to the Dakotas and to Nebraska. See, that's what it tells me, that they're trying to burn them to chase them into a state where they can corral and capture them. That's what they're doing. And we'll see. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. But one thing that you can count on is change. Yeah. So anyway, that's that on that. You can probably leave comments even after I close the live and everything. And so anyway, I will talk to y'all later. Affirmative action, not wholly, but partially has been modified. And so we shall see what else SCOTUS is up to. If you happen to be in the Washington, D.C. area, please get in touch with me on any of my platforms. You can just Google me, send me messages. I will get them. If not today, then eventually. I try to get all of my little raggedy notifications. Okay, like this one, they said they got something new. Let's see. Oh, I already know. I checked that this morning. Okay. Red flag warning. Okay. Doesn't look like I missed anything from FEMA. Let me just, okay. I gotta go. Talk to y'all later. Bye.